Hello and welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2016 Toronto After Dark Film Festival video. Yes, it's the second film of Japanese night and we are talking about the film Creepy. Yes, I say it like that because if you've seen the trailer, that's exactly how it's said in the trailer. It's actually kind of comical. Creepy. Because it's, Japanese and then you get to the title of the movie. I don't know. It made me laugh at least when I saw it. Yeah, so Creepy from director Kiyoshi Kurosawa, the man who is responsible for films like Pulse and Cure and like Tokyo Sonata, not horror, but it's still a very, very big film. It's probably one of his biggest ones, actually. Probably maybe the biggest one. But yeah, he's a very established director, does a lot of good stuff. I haven't seen a film of his yet that I didn't like, but I haven't obviously seen everything he's done, so I was not surprised to find that Creepy, yes, was a film, again, that I really enjoyed. The film is essentially about a Takakura, who is like a retired detective, police detective, former police detective type thing, who's played by, what was his name? It was Hidetoshi Nishijima, who was in Dolls, and I believe he did voice work for The Wind Rises, and he was actually, I think he was the main guy in a film called Cut, which I saw at the Toronto International Film Festival, which is it is a film about film, and and in a bizarre way. It's definitely something you should track down because it is Cut. It's I'll see if I can get the year it was cut. It's a 2011 film, directed by Amir Naderi. Yes, it's not directed by a Japanese guy. So track that one down. But anyways, back to Creepy, which in Japanese was Itsuwari no Rinjin. So yeah, Takakura is a former detective. He was on the murder beat, essentially, like the really hard cases, and he's married to a I don't know if they're younger, but they aren't like young. They're, I guess my age, really. Maybe a little bit younger. They didn't have kids. But married to a woman, Yasuko, played by Yuko Takuchi, who, you may not remember, but in 1998 she was in The Ring as Tomoko Oishi. Of course, if you watched it, and Ringu, not The Ring. Let me correct that. The original movie, not the remake. The original movie, Ringu, which in English was The Ring. So yeah, she was in that one. And yeah, so he's retired now. He's working at I guess the local university college type thing, and they've just purchased a new house. They were getting a little bit big for their current dwelling, and so they buy a new house, and it's right next door is here's where the Creepy comes into play. This is like a Japanese version of The Burbs, essentially, where you've got these next door neighbors who are they're just bizarre. Like they don't act normal in terms of Japanese society in the way Japanese people would, to the point where they're just these people are really weird, and so you've got this play back and forth of these two neighbors. One, the new neighbors who want to get to know the people around them and be friendly, and then you get one neighbor who is completely doesn't want to have anything to do with anybody, and then you get, you know, the very next door neighbor who is just like, yes, they're kind of friendly, but they're also oddball and you know, don't do things, you know, like they don't say goodbye or anything. They just, you know, whatever. They don't, no, the manners aren't there, the mannerisms aren't there, they do weird things and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, Takakura has been asked by his, you know, former colleague who's still on the force to help him with an unsolved murder case. And he gets involved in that, because part of what he's, well, whatever. Takakura gets involved with it because what it is he works, when his job at the university is about teaching, about, you know, solving crimes and such like that. So part of his thing is he starts researching, you know, because, you know, once a cop, always a cop, right? He starts researching the you know, these unsolved murders and all this kind of stuff, and it gets to the point where he becomes involved in trying to solve this unsolved murder case from years before, and of course it leads down a crazy path. So he's, you know, it, you know, creates tensions at home, and then the tensions at home deal with, you know, start kind of overflowing to the creepy neighbors, and the creepy neighbors start getting involved, and things just aren't what they seem, and things develop from there into, you know, learning about everybody involved and how they may actually be intertwined in some way, shape, or form, right? You have to know that somehow the murders and such that Takakura is looking into somehow end up being related to, you know, where he's living now and and such, and the path that it takes for him and his, you know, his family and the you know, the neighbors in the neighborhood, go on this, you know, you just go on this journey of discovery. It's kind of a thriller mystery type thing, and yeah, it's very creepy. Honestly, you got to check out the trailer. Of course, now I've given it away. It's funnier when you don't know what's coming. But yeah, this is a film. You know what? I've already said I'm into it. I love Kurosawa's films, and this is no different. So obviously, I'm gonna say this is a recommend, and especially if you like The Burbs. It doesn't have. I mean, obviously, this is a foreign film. It's subtitled. If you haven't seen a lot of Japanese films and don't know a lot about the Japanese culture, you may not pick up on a lot of the stuff that's going on, because a lot of it has to do with their mannerisms and how they behave and such like that, and those things add to the creepiness, the little bit of humor that's going on. There's some humor involved with it, much like, you know, with The Burbs and such, and but it's not played. It's played a little bit more straight than The Burbs is, but it is very much about, you know, these weird neighbors, and you know, what's going on, why are they so weird, why is this part of town, you know, the way it is, how does that have to do, you know, what does that have to do with these murders I'm looking into, are they involved, did they do them, were they, you know, had they been, their family's been, you know, murdered before. You never really know, but you know there's something not just, you know, not right, and it definitely plays on that. And one of the reasons for that is because of the neighbor, who is played by Teruyuki Kagawa, who, like, he just, the way oh my god, like, this guy, the acting is just fantastic. He nails that character. Like, he is that character. He makes it what it is. And as this creepy neighbor, I mean, he's got well, I mean, he's no slouch when it comes to acting and stuff. I mean, he did voice work on From Up on Poppy Hill and Tales from Earthsea, and he's in Tokyo Sonata, so you can obviously see how he gets involved there. But yeah, he's been acting for forever. I'm trying to think if there's anything that was really, really big that you may know, other than obviously the voice work and the anime. He was in The Haunted Samurai. I don't know if you saw that. But yeah, he's one of those people who, great face, and like oh my god, he nails it. He just nails it. I'm trying to think. He was in Takashi Shimizu's Tormented, if you've seen that. He was in that. Because that was a pretty big one. But yeah, like, honestly, I think he makes the film. If it isn't for him, this film doesn't quite work as well as it does, which is, it's odd. Well, I don't know that's odd, but he really does hold this film together and delivers on it being just like awesome. So kudos to the casting in this film, because it really helps. The film could have played out and you could have had other people, but honestly, when you have to have that creepy neighbor, you have to have the right person in that role, and they picked the right one. Teruyuki Kagawa is the man. So between him and Kurosawa directing the film and putting it together, Creepy is definitely a film I recommend you check out. You track it down. I believe it's coming to, if it hasn't already been released, on home video of some sort. I think Eureka was going to be releasing it, or has released it. I don't know. But track it down. I highly recommend it. Again, foreign film, Japanese, subtitles, kind of like The Burbs, but not as funny. But it's a great little piece. It's not perfect, but it's highly enjoyable. It's I don't know what else to say. I can't play it up too high because it has problems. It's not perfect. There are a lot of aspects in the film that people didn't understand, and they weren't really explained as to why people. And I can't really go into it because it gives away too much. But yeah, honestly, out of 5, I give it a 4. I give it a 4. I really enjoyed the film, and I understood what they were doing with it. To give you a hint. Think Hannibal Lecter and how he's able to manipulate people and get them to do things simply by talking. If you've seen all those films, right? That'll give you an idea as to what's going on in Creepy. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm thinking. Creepy, Kurosawa film. Check it out if you're at all into those things. This isn't a ghost story. It's not scary. It's not scary. It's creepy. It's an oddball, like The Burbs. It's just an odd series of events that all sort of intertwine and go together and eventually play out the mystery that's involved. And yeah, and it's not a happy story. It's got a lot of nefarious things going on. So there you go. Creepy from the Toronto After Dark Film Festival. Japanese Day, film number 2 for the 31 Days of Horror 2016. Till next video, take care. Have a good one.